Yeah, I think it's fine now. Like I can hear you guys.
Awesome. I can also hear you. So where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Los Angeles and I'm a grad student at USC. I'm
Right,
doing computer science here.
right. When did you graduate?
I am graduating in 2 weeks, so
Oh,
it's just
awesome.
the end of the course.
Okay, so you're graduating in December. Okay.
Yes.
And what was your major, Sanjeev?
So my major is computer science, and like I was expected to graduate next semester, but I somehow like took extra courses and in a way accelerated my course. I didn't want to like spend more semesters remote here. So I started
Okay.
in fall of 19, and then I think yeah, it's been about 1.5 years now. So I'm just graduating now.
Okay, so otherwise you had the option of graduating in 2 years as well. Okay. So you are
Yes, like
one of the few people I know are graduating early because some people are thinking of extending their graduation because of that. So how's the job market?
I think it's pretty good here. Like I think most of my batchmates are graduating next semester, but like some of us who had like
Okay.
secured jobs early, so they kind of accelerated and graduated as soon as they could. They Because here next semester at
Right.
USC is going to start online. It's not offline here. At least in
Right.
LA, I
Right.
think they can't like open up schools. Like we don't have clear like no none of the schools
Right.
have clearances from the government to open up. So they're going to be online, but like
Right.
midway, it's a chance that they might get back to offline with like vaccine in place and like
Yeah.
all the guidelines in place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
So
what is
how is it
expected.
been
I think the
getting
job
tough this
scene,
year with all
uh,
like
to,
the off of online classes?
sorry, I think I
Sorry,
missed
go
the
ahead.
question. So I was just completing
Yeah,
previous
I
one
was
about the
asking
job
how's
market.
been. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's for CS particularly, I think all the hiring is still happening, except I think Google didn't open up their
Mm-hmm.
positions for this season. Except that I think almost all the companies like
Okay.
are hiring at normal pace. I see Amazon, especially for CS, Amazon being one of the largest. I think it's a mass recruiter here,
Yeah.
like taking in a lot of
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Except that I think almost a lot of people, at least in my batch, who are graduating next semester, who did internships, they are like almost all of them are have secured their
They have job
position.
offers. Okay.
They have converted their internships into full time. But
Right.
even people who couldn't get an internship, even they were able to get jobs, and a lot of them who are graduating even next semester have jobs here now. So the tech,
Okay.
I think in overall tech here, uh, especially in like jobs in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
companies and startups, they are like I think hiring at a good pace. So I don't
Okay.
see a lot like a slowdown in that
You
sense.
have not seen the impact. That's awesome to know. And how's the visa situation? Are companies as easily sponsoring H-1B visas?
Yeah, like since I'll be starting in February, so I already have a job here. So
Where are you
they're
joining?
already so I'm joining Apple now. Like I had an
Awesome.
offer with
Congratulations.
I had an offer with Amazon, but I like got a like changed my decision later. I got another option.
Okay. Okay.
So they have already like they're already in the process of starting to. I think they're collecting all the data right now just to file
Okay.
the application in March. So that process
Cool.
starts in March. All the companies have started now itself, even though
Cool.
like they haven't joined the company, but they're in the process of like starting the applications.
That's awesome. That's like hopeful information coming from you. So we really congratulate you, and I'm sure you're going to do great things. So thanks for sharing that with me. I'm going
Thank
to
you.
now take in someone from the East Coast, I believe. So and take some update from that because I think in Bay Area, all these big tech companies are still able to sponsor the jobs. Let me catch up with someone who maybe have more information about smaller companies or something. So cool. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, and we should anyways
Thank you.
catch up separately.
Sure.
Okay. Take care.
Awesome.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Who else can we bring in? Anyone from East Coast? Aketh, I would love to, because Aketh is also on California side, I believe. But let me see. Cool. So yeah, as I was saying, I think Bay Area is fine. Big tech companies are fine. Tech companies are still fine. I think it's the non-STEM degrees that are really, really suffering right now. So depending on the program. Hey, Aketh, how are you?
Aketh is also
I'm
on
from.
California side, I believe. But let me see.
So there's,
Yep,
I think, a
that's
lot
correct.
of lag in
So
there.
yeah,
But let's see.
that's fine.
So Aketh, where have you graduated from? Where are you right now? And
So I
share
graduated
what's
from
happening.
I graduated from NYU, but I have also but I do work in the West Coast. I work in Oregon. Intel has a big campus here. They're the biggest
Right,
hiring. I mean, their biggest campus is in Oregon.
right.
Um, so I think for a while, I think a lot of job postings only were internal, but now they're opening up again.
Hmm.
And like I said, the economy is looking better. So I think overall there is no problem, at least for some roles. There, we are like hiring just as well. And also, if you
Okay.
constantly track LinkedIn or other kind of job portals,
Yeah.
the number of jobs and the kind of roles, you're seeing a big increase. So there's, I
Okay.
mean, it doesn't seem like even managers are not worried. They're not complaining about funding or freeze and stuff like that. Everything is as
Acha,
usual.
you are not seeing any freeze either. Okay. Any information you have where the impact is being seen from your friends or circle?
Um, I think yeah, I mean, outside of maybe, I think there were some people who were fired or not fired, more like given pink slip or impacted. But
Yeah.
even that was only that was none of my friends though. But
Okay.
yeah,
And you guys are hiring on campus? You guys continuing to do that?
yes.
Okay. So
But I
any
mean,
any advice for people who are thinking of coming next year?
okay, so usually you will have to take advice like this with a grain of salt. But overall, I would say actually now would be a good time to come because by the time you graduate, the economy may already be recovering, and you may have more jobs than you may even assume based on current situation. Like a lot of people who
Right.
studied engineering 2007, if they were wondering what happened by 2011, we went into a bull market, and actually tech was like one of the most valued companies, and they were hiring a lot.
Right.
So you could probably end up missing out. And I would say, yeah, if you're coming for next fall, most you will have much clearer picture, so you should
Right.
not be worried about that.
Yeah, I think that's what I was telling some people that actually people most impacted were who graduated in 2020 and they had
Yes.
no clue this was not going to happen back when they joined in 2018. So when these guys join next year, they will have a lot of time to come out of things and have a more clear picture. So I think that's a great point, right?
Yep. I would say if you are looking at fall next year, as in your first day in classes would be in the fall next year. I think it will be called fall
Right.
2021. Yes. For
Are you thinking that would be in person? How's what's the possibility of that?
in person, okay, I haven't thought about that. Uh, there's a good chance it will probably be in person, because I'm
Hmm.
not in the university. I really don't know.
Right,
I
right,
haven't
right.
spoken to anyone, but
Hmm.
yeah, I think it'll depend on the vaccine. That's all I can say. If you have I think if the
Okay.
vaccine is out, it'll probably it will be in person.
And what areas is Intel hiring?
Intel, yeah, I mean Intel is one of those companies where you could get hiring from computer science to industrial engineering.
Right.
Unlike other tech companies, we also do manufacturing. So
Okay.
this is one place you should be looking for if
Any
you're like
insider recommendation you have?
inside a recommendation for getting a job at Intel.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Usually, Intel, unlike other big tech companies, you can expect pretty easy interviews. Um, and Intel, has very niche jobs like performance engineering, or I
Right.
would say even if you're a chemical engineer, there's a good chance you could
Okay.
get in with yeah. So
Okay, so if I hear
Initial,
from someone
I,
struggling to
I
find
think
a job, I'm going to pass them on to you.
yes. Okay, no problem.
No,
I
any
don't.
kind of help would be appreciated. I think people are just some of them, especially when companies are not coming on campus, are struggling. So that's good to hear. So you are the second person who's telling me to like things are looking up.
Yep, yep. Overall, yes.
Cool.
Especially Apple also is hiring a lot now. So I
Right.
think even they were on a freeze. Actually, a lot of
Okay.
recruiters are also reaching out to at least experienced candidates. I don't know if they're looking for newcomers. So I
Okay.
think with a bit of recommendation, trying to make contact. Guys, make contacts in the US. It's very important. Unlike India,
Hmm.
it doesn't fly by passing the interview. You will have to make good
Yeah, I
contacts.
think we should. Yeah, I think that's a topic for standalone session. We should do some like, networking related topic um,
Mm-hmm.
in
Yep.
here, and I'll call you guys to share some tips. All right, that was cool. Thank you so much, Aket. And I'm
Thank you.
also like, let's catch up
Yeah,
separately. Would love to
we'll
hear from
catch.
you. Cool.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And to hear from a fresher, I'm going to call just like the last person I want to invite here, and then I'll take the questions. So, Ayush, can you please join me if you're still here? And hello, everyone. I'm seeing so many comments. It's so good to see you all because I've been out for a while and it feels so good to be back here. Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Ayush. How are
can you hear
you?
me? I'm good. How are you?
Cool. So, Ayush is in Boston.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about where you are working.
I came to US in fall 17. I did my master's in computer science from Northeastern University. I graduated last year in December, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
working as a software engineer for NetApp since February. So it's been a
Right.
little over like 9 or 10 months now.
So Ayush is one of those lucky fellows who just
Yeah,
got the job before before
yeah.
COVID hit us all, right?
I was
No, that
fortunate
is that
enough
is great.
to get a job right in time because just after that, things went downhill.
Yes,
So yeah, it was like the perfect time to get a job.
right. How is it right now? Any updates?
Things are getting much better actually now. I think
Okay.
even for the small companies, as Aket mentioned before about the big companies, so Amazon is definitely hiring. I know a lot of people are getting calls from Oracle.
Hmm.
Then there's obviously Apple, Facebook, and like all these companies are back to their normal hiring, I would say.
Hmm.
Even for my company, there was kind of a time in between for like 2 or 3 months when there was no active hiring, but now NetApp is hiring as well. So
Okay.
the hiring seems to be getting back on track slowly, and also
Okay.
with the vaccine situation coming in, the markets are much better now.
Hmm.
So the companies are having good quarters and they are having good results.
Hmm.
So I think slowly and slowly the hiring definitely is going to improve as well.
Okay. And what's your H1 situation?
So for me, my company applied for my H1 this year, but it couldn't get selected in the lottery.
Hmm.
But a lot of people, so the H1 lottery was kind of extended this time a bit. So usually
Hmm.
what happens is the lotteries get picked up during March or April. But at
Hmm.
this time, because some of the companies were reluctant, even if their lotteries got picked up, they were reluctant in applying for their application.
Hmm.
So many of the people even got their calls as late as in August and September.
Hmm.
So many of the people I know who are in like decent companies or good companies for whom application was not an issue. So
Hmm.
most of the people ended up getting an H1.
Okay.
Yes.
So you think H1 is also sort of like going to be on track
Yes, I think so.
next year
Even
onwards?
with Biden coming in, I think so.
Yeah.
Trump was going to introduce some sort of wage-based structure for H1B,
Yes.
which could have been a bit controversial. I don't know, but
It was horrible. I think
yes,
he suggested a 40% increase in the
yes. So
minimum.
that would have been
Yeah,
astronomical, like what the companies
right,
usually pay. So that
right,
definitely wouldn't have worked out for students here.
right.
But I think with Biden coming in, those rules should be pretty much
Those
relaxed as
change
they were.
should not happen, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree, right. Are you in touch with your juniors at Northeastern? Like how's
Yes.
the situation for them?
So yeah, many of the people even during like the summers and falls ended up having co-op and internships. So
Okay.
even for like Boston is a good place for like mid-sized companies and small companies as well.
Right.
So though they were not hiring in numbers, but they were still hiring. Like you would always have like a couple of positions in any companies for internships and co-ops. So a lot of people I know, they ended up having co-ops and internships. So I
Okay.
don't think that should be a problem.
Okay. And just last question. I know that like you were a fresher when you came here, right?
Hmm. Yes.
So just give us a perspective on like how is it different for freshers when they come in,
Yeah.
and what can they do to like be more competitive when they come here?
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely slightly challenging, I would say, because in terms of like academics and the projects that you're doing, it's mostly what the other people are doing as well. But what the other
Right.
people have is the extra advantage of having relevant work experience in the industry. So if
Right.
if a recruiter is having a look at both of your resumes, then he would definitely opt for the person who is having more experience.
Hmm.
So what I think could help is like definitely internships are really very important because in internships it doesn't matter as much if you don't have any previous experience.
Right.
So and also like if you should also constantly keep trying to work on side projects if you are doing like any kind of technical project, if you are doing work any kind of hands-on work, uh,
Yeah.
working as teaching assistantship, working under professors definitely helps. So if you are doing any teaching assistantship, that counts. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, as much as you can try. So these things definitely help pump up your resume because if you compare it
So
with a
you think
person
it's
who's
easier to crack an internship than full-time job directly
yes,
as a fresher?
yes,
Okay.
and in many cases I've seen that most of the people who have got an internship are usually able to convert those internships because especially if you are on a co-op, like if you have been working for 6 to 8 months, then the
Right.
company already knows a lot about you, that you've been that how's your work and like how good
Right.
you are with the work that you're doing. So it's fairly comfortable for them to extend you an offer. So
Right.
I think a lot of emphasis, particularly for freshers, should go in finding an internship and co-op for the
Right.
when they come in. I think they
Because
should
if
start as
I
early
if
as
I
possible.
remember correctly, you did get the full-time extension from your co-ops as well, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a co-op and an internship, so that's why my degree got extended like by 6 months. I mean, I
Yeah.
was supposed to graduate in May 2019, but just because I did a co-op for 6 months and I
Yeah.
didn't opt to study during those months, so I graduated in December, which was like a little 6 to 7 months of an extension.
Yeah.
But I can say that definitely helped because coming in from India as a fresher, I had no experience, but by the time I graduated, I almost had experience of like 10 to 11 months,
Right.
which helped me in getting slightly more calls for full time.
So what you're saying is it's doable. It's not easy, I know, but it's
Yes,
doable. Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
if you keep trying, there are a lot of opportunities here, anyways.
Okay.
I've even seen people who got laid off,
Yeah.
but they still ended up getting jobs,
Okay.
even when they had like a tight deadline for H1B and stuff.
Right.
So it's definitely possible. You just have to keep trying.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ayush. If I have more questions, I'll pass them on to you. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ayush. All right. So that was some perspective from the seniors, guys. So I'm going to just take uh, questions now. So please keep them coming.